Surveillance, the all-seeing eye, cold, detached, unblinking. It captures without care, without judgment, without a hint of humanity, whether there is a target or not. It's a promise of suspicious behaviour, so we wait, and we let the imagery crawl under our skin with an imagination assist. But why does it unnerve us so deeply? Is it the sense of voyeurism? Is it the feeling that something malicious could happen at any moment? Or is it something deeper, something primal that AI can magnify?
Eerie Aquarium has warned you. Subliminal haunting is our game.
From the grainy eye of a CCTV camera to the silent vigilance of a dash cam, from the private glow of a baby monitor to the impersonal gaze of a Ring camera. These devices were designed to make us feel safe. So why do they unsettle us? It starts with how they distort reality. The footage is always imperfect, grainy textures, muted colors, dim lighting. Sounds are muffled or missing entirely, creating a world that feels distant, disjointed, and cold. Familiar places, your front porch, your car, your baby's nursery, are stripped of their warmth and turned into sterile stages. And it's not just the spaces themselves, it's the stillness within them. These feeds feel frozen in time, as though they're holding their breath, waiting for something to go wrong. It's almost a promise. Silence becomes its own kind of noise. These devices are built to alert us to action, to movement, to sound. So when nothing happens, we wait. And in that waiting, the tension grows. Every shadow feels alive. Every flicker on the screen feels like a threat. And then there's the idea of interruption, the potential for something unexpected to break into the frame. A shadow in a nursery, a stranger on your porch, a figure crossing an empty road. These devices force us to imagine the worst, to anticipate danger in every empty frame. Watching someone on a screen feels safe, controlled. But surveillance puts us in an awkward position. We're not neutral observers. We're voyeurs. There's guilt in it, isn't there? We tell ourselves it's a setup for security, for protection. But as we stare into those flickering frames, the questions creep in. The act of watching is a deeply human experience. It's more than observation, it's interpretation. When we see someone on surveillance footage, we don't just see their movements, we create stories. Who are they? Why are they there? Are they harmless or dangerous? And the longer we watch, the more uncertain we become, not just about them, but about ourselves. Is this safety, or is it intrusion? Are we protecting something, or just exposing it to the lens for entertainment? And wouldn't that be creepy? It brings up the unease of seeing others unaware, a creeping sense of complicity, as though the act of watching itself is forbidden. Surely, we don't enjoy being the subject of surveillance, right? When you watch someone who doesn't know they're being observed, the line between surveillance and intrusion dissolves. And in that dissolution, unease thrives. And when there is no sound, every motion is amplified. Every shadow pulses with potential. Surveillance transforms the mundane into the ominous. turning familiar streets and homes into platforms for something unknown. It's a very potent stage for the mind to suspect and to stay alert. You watch, waiting for the silence to break, and the longer it holds, the louder it gets. Yet we can't look away. We're waiting for the moment when a shadow reveals itself, when action erupts, or even better, when something truly unexpected happens. But that moment doesn't always come, and so we take another pill and put our bets on the next shot, and so forth. The real fear isn't what we see, it's what we don't. Surveillance feeds are a slow burn, a stage set for a play that might never begin. But the tension is always there, simmering with every frame and heartbeat. So what happens if we truly lose control? What happens if the gaze of our subjects turns back on us? If the figures on the screen start acknowledging us too? This is the moment where the balance shifts. AI can mimic the passive act of observation and can make it active. The watcher becomes part of it, and suddenly, the cold, unfeeling lens doesn't feel so cold anymore. It feels alive, aware, as though it knows our project and is taking control. The entire apparatus of surveillance collapses into an even more distressing experience, one prompt at a time. You see, surveillance isn't just a tool, it's a context. It establishes our mindset, reflects the world to us, but also reveals us, our fears, our guilt, our fascination with what shouldn't occur, and certainly it reveals what we shouldn't see. So when AI enters the equation, it doesn't just capture the mood, it intensifies the impact. It pulls from our archives of fear, amplifies the unease of the silent frame, and transforms the suspicious into the dreadful. In the end, surveillance isn't just about seeing, it's about being seen and accepting the system. So the scariest part of watching isn't what's on the screen. It's the realization that some other screen out there might be discreetly and actively watching us back. In our worst unsuspecting moment.